Hopefully we're good. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm just waiting for more people to get in here. We are going to see how many people are going to get in here. Of course, as soon as I go live, my connection want to be funny. My connection is wonky. Y'all let me know if it's good on your end, because on my end it's saying it's not. I mean, I know Mercury retrograde. There we go. You guys go ahead and get your snacks. Okay, just go ahead and get your snacks. I see what type of live this is about to be. Go ahead, get your snacks. Come back. Okay. I step back to my roots. Y'all know I'm 50% Nigerian, right? People be asking me if I'm mixed. I'm Black. I mean, when you think about it, Afro-Americans, we all kind of mix in some type of way, but I am 50% Nigerian. My parents are Black, my grandparents are Black, and my great-grandparents are Black. So I don't know who needs to hear that. But so I went, to the other side. Y'all know I like to move around. And I came across this crazy story, y'all. This story is crazy. So, girl, go ahead, get your snacks. Go ahead, get your snacks. I'm going to get into my intro, and then we're going to get right into this. Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it. Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of. Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you. Okay, so let's get into it. So tonight's video is about Moneoa. Now, if you don't know who Moneoa is, she is a South African singer and she's a songwriter. She's an actress. And she was born November 6, 1989. So she's about 32 years old. She's known for songs like More Than You, Pretty Disaster. So she recently took to her Instagram and exposed her ex. And he's an ex of hers of 5 years. And his name is Pee-wee Mampanga. I believe I'm pronouncing that right, y'all. And he is a shapeshifter. Now, the reason why I am creating this video tonight is because it's crazy how one person can come into your life, just one, and create so much chaos. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this story is because so many women are judgmental and we say things like, oh, I don't understand why she just doesn't leave, or I don't understand why she would put up with something like that. When you are dealing with a manipulator, I mean, the type of manipulator where they can make up a lie on the spot, a believable lie, a lie that is so solid that the doubt that you have, right? You kind of push that to the side because the lie was that good. And a lot of women don't understand that when you are in a abusive relationship and you're in the thick of it, you don't see things clearly. You're not thinking clearly, you don't see things clearly. And so we tend to bash women when we find them in relationships like this, because if you've never been in a toxic relationship or an extremely emotionally abusive relationship, you're not going to fully understand, and you will never fully understand what it actually feels like to be in a relationship similar to the one that I'm going to be bringing on my platform today. Because a lot of people feel like, oh, they know what they would do. But until you are truly in this woman's shoes, you don't know, because you're dealing with a pro manipulator, a shapeshifter. So a shapeshifter is a man that can basically mold himself into whomever he needs to be to serve himself. And it's so good and it's so believable. So I'm going to get into this alleged story that Moneoa recently came out about on her Instagram. So let's go ahead and get right into tonight's video. Girl, I dated a man like this. So I'm like, ugh. I was stressed, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, I was stressed. I'm like, oh my God, this is bringing back memories I don't want to remember. So first, I'm going to start with the screen grabs that I got. So she went to her Instagram. She took to her Instagram to expose her ex of 5 years. And all of this is alleged, of course, because there's going to be 3 sides to this story. Her side, his side, and the truth. So always keep that in mind. So let me blow it up. Okay, let's start. Hold on, wait a minute. Share something with all of you. I'm going to share something with all of you that has not only weighed stress on my heart and mind for over 5 years now, but has also inconvenienced my life in ways I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I can't stand that it's come to this, but unfortunately, I feel that I'm left with no other choice. I want to clarify that I don't hate Pee-wee Mapanga, but I now realize that his refusal to cooperate in this manner has nothing to do with any difficulties he has with resolving it. It's because of my patience and silence all these years that he feels invincible and continues to inconvenience my life. He relies on my silence because he knows how sacred my privacy is to me. I'm going to try and explain this the best way I can, but please bear in mind that I am summarizing something that has spanned over 5 years. It consists of many complexities. However, I know I'm not the only one he's done this to. My objective here to reach out to the public with the hope of help, because everything else that I've tried has failed me, specifically the law. To top off all the trauma Pee-wee Mapanga has caused me, I can't let him get away with this. I'm going live this afternoon. The interesting part about this story is that his mother decided to go on Facebook and defend him in his honor. And I'm just going to read the part that matters. Okay, now wait. There's some missing key points here. So before we get into the mama, y'all know how it, y'all. This, okay, Black people, for real, for a sec. I don't care where you're from. This is happening on another continent. Am I the only one that's just like, this is, it doesn't matter where you are across the diaspora, right? Why are these men all acting the same? I really need somebody to do a study on this because it does not make sense. Even the mama on another continent is acting like the typical mother, the toxic mother that we deal with over here in the US. This is why I don't put men on a pedestal, y'all. I don't care what culture they come from. I don't care. I don't care. It's something, it's I don't know. I can't even say it's in the water. We don't even share the same water. Some in the air. Oh my goodness. So let's get into this. Before the mama jumped in, okay, she took to her Instagram live to basically expose him. She was left with no choice because he was using the fact that she is a private person. He was weaponizing the fact that because she's a private person against her, and so that's why she took it to her Instagram. So I just wanted to put that out there. It's a mess. I'm thinking if I go back home, to the motherland, I'm gonna get a different outcome. Apparently not. Okay, I'm like, well, shoot, I might as well stay where I'm at. Yes, the mama, y'all. So let's get into this video where she went to her Instagram to tell her story. She went on her Instagram to tell her truth, which is alleged.
Hi, guys. So, I'm really nervous. I'm super nervous because I know some of the things I'm about to talk about are looked down upon, or rather frowned upon. I'm just going to take it slow because I want to articulate myself properly. I want to be completely open and honest. I'm nervous, I won't lie. I'm literally shaking. Okay, so I'm going to start with this voice note. I'm going to start with one of the voice notes. I took a voice note of a meeting that I had with Piwe. Let me not say his name, with this guy last year. And this is, oh, please, this phone mustn't do this to me now. Oh, please don't start. My other phone is whiling. See, I cracked it. That's why it's acting up. It's a voice note of him basically admitting that he basically, we had a meeting. I'm going to start in the middle and then I'm going to work my way around the story. I had a meeting with him last year. I had threatened to expose him then, and I believe some of you may have seen it in my stories. And I said to him, he basically called me because he was panicking, and he tried to get me to admit to things that didn't even exist, things that never even happened. Obviously, I'm assuming he was probably recording the conversation on the other side, trying to gather as much evidence for himself so that he could use it against me should something like this ever happen. Eventually, I think he folded, and we had a meeting. He begged me in this voice note. First of all, it's two voice notes. It's one voice note where he begged me to meet me so that we could resolve this issue, and then it's another voice note of the meeting that we had where he says, in his voice, he says, "Wuti, should I breach the contract in any shape, way, or form? Should I breach the contract in any shape, way, or form? Then I have the right to. Now he's giving me permission, full permission, to do whatever it is I need to do, to go about this, to expose him. He says, like, IP with Mapanga, I'm giving you full permission to do whatever it is you need to do." Okay, I'm just getting the pub. Should I actually just put this stuff aside first? Okay.
You guys, let me know if the speed is okay. Okay, let me know.
I'm in the voice notes now. Okay. It's fine. No, that's another one. I'm gonna find it now. I remember I had named it. So
The contract is a contract that he was trying to get her to sign so that she legally wouldn't be able to go against him publicly. Okay. Okay. The speed is fine. Okay. Okay. So some of y'all saying the speed is fine. Some of y'all saying speed it up. Some of y'all saying slow it down. I don't know what y'all want me to do. Let me know. Speed is it okay? Slow it down, speed it up.
May of 2021 was around March. March, yeah. It's March, yeah. Pure Mapanga. Lena, it's been in a restaurant not far from my mom's place. This is 2019. March. A WhatsApp group. Nope. Yippee man, Lindo. Okay, I'll find it and I'll post it. So anyways, I met him.
No, you guys, he last year when they met up to solve this offline, he was trying to get her to sign a contract so she couldn't legally publicly expose him, but she did not sign it. Okay. Just in case she was speaking too fast earlier, because I did speed it up. So just to clear that up, she didn't sign it, but he was trying to get her to sign it. And she didn't. And that was last year. Now she waited a whole year for him to step up and do the right thing, and he refused to do so, allegedly. Okay, so we're going to continue. It's back normal, you guys. The speed is normal now.
I met Pure in 2017. I met him through a mutual friend of ours, more of his friend actually, but I had worked with him in the industry. He's my ex. Who's this person to me? He's my ex. We basically hit it off immediately. We dated for about 2 years. So in the beginning of the relationship, everything flowed very well. We were like a normal happy couple. He told me he was a property developer. He told me that he owned a couple of hotels and properties around Johannesburg and Cape Town and Eastern Cape. And he drove very like this was actually the first guy with money that I'd ever dated. I'd never dated a guy with money before. So it's crazy to me that his sister's saying that I was trying to ride a gravy train, but we're going to get into that. And yeah, it was a happy relationship. He drove very nice cars, but he never actually had a place of his own. He told me that he lived at his hotel where he worked. He lived at the hotel where he worked. And I wasn't allowed to go there. I wasn't allowed to go see his apartment. So most of the time we spent time together indoors was at my place, at my apartment in Roodepoort. I had a small little 2-bedroom apartment there.
Now, you guys, this is always a red flag. I'm glad y'all pointed it out. A man sometimes we get so consumed with being infatuated with a man that we're not seeing him clearly. This is why I tell you guys, slow down. Because she said we hit it off pretty fast. And a lot of men that rush things, they want you to miss some red flags. So slow down. You cannot rush dating, especially today. It's always a red flag when a man wants to rush things with you, because there are a lot of things that you're missing.
I used to love that apartment.
Also, another thing, just because you met someone or you met a man through a mutual friend does not mean he gets passes. I think I need to say that, because let me tell you something. If she would have met this man off a dating app or something like that, or if she would have just met this man in the park, or something like that, right? Do you think she would have been more on guard? Yes. But because she met this man through a mutual friend, she let her guard down. You never let your guard down. I don't care if you meet him, your mama introduced this man to you, your grandmother went to church and found you a man. You don't let your guard down. She let her guard down because she met him through a mutual friend. I've seen so many women do this, including myself, because I met this guy through a mutual friend. This person was vouching for this man, right? And so it made me feel more at ease or more comfortable. Oh no, honey, that mutual friend don't know him like you trying to get to know him. So you can't let your guard down just because you met him through a mutual friend. I'm sorry. You just can't. We live in different times. Can't let your guard down.
And I paid rent there the whole time. Kieran never paid, not one time. He never paid rent, not one time. There was never a single time that he ever contributed towards the rent in the year that he spent at my place.
Triggered.
Anyways, so it was like shaky. You know, he claimed to be one thing, but in the beginning of the relationship, there's certain things that I could pick up. Like he would say, you know, he would say certain things and then forget that he said them. And you know, when somebody tells you that he's doing this or he's this type of person, and then next thing, kufanana. Turn off the comments. How do I turn off the comments? How do I turn off the comments? Can somebody please tell me how I turn off the comments? But how? How do I do that?
I also want to add that you guys don't allow a man to move in with you. If a man wants y'all want to live together, that's great. That's your choice because you're a grown woman, right? But it's better to go get a place together. Because as soon as that man moves in, did he sign any contract? Did he sign any type of paperwork? Or is all the financial and legal responsibility on you? You have to ensure that when you're in these type of situations, you have very strong boundaries. Men should not be moving in with you. Y'all go get a place together. Because he can easily move in, get comfortable. And as soon as a man comes in, he moves in, he gets comfortable, it's harder to get him to leave. And because we women are physically the weaker vessel, right? It's harder to throw a man out your houses or out your apartment. It's just harder to do that. And then you could try to seek legal action, but if he's been there longer than 30 days and he has all his stuff throughout the apartment or the house and stuff like that, it's harder to get him out your apartment or your living space. So I recommend that if you guys are moving, you're wanting to move in together, go find a place and get it together. Please. That is the worst thing you can do, is to move a man in. And then you're going to be annoyed too. You're going to be annoyed.
Can somebody please tell me how to turn off the comments, please? Turn off comments. Yeah, but how? How do I turn off the comments? How, babe? Okay, guys, I see all your comments, but go to settings. Does this mean I have to end the live? Go to settings. No. Do I have to end the live? How do I turn off the comments, guys? At the bottom, three dots, comment section. Yes. Turn off commenting. Okay, cool. So, so anyway, yeah, you know, when somebody tells you stuff and then it's a little shaky and then they forget that they told you this thing, it was stuff like that. Anyways, I started noticing issues with him when well, for me, the main issue in our relationship was the fact that I wasn't allowed to see where he lived. And he didn't want to introduce me to this business partner that he claimed to have at the time, who he was spending a curious amount of time with, which was this elderly Chinese lady. At the time, he told me that she was 66. And I was very uncomfortable with their relationship. There was even this one time where um, I found messages. Um, I found messages between them that were just baby, baby. And he told me that baby means friend in Mandarin. And I was like, baby means friend in Mandarin. I Googled it and I was like, baby doesn't mean, it's like, no, it's like a Mandarin slang. And I was like, okay. I was extremely uncomfortable with it. So I gave him an ultimatum that, he would have to do something about that situation, that living arrangement there, because I'm uncomfortable with him going back to this place where he shares with his business partner that he calls baby, and he's spending awkward times with and traveling with and all of these weird things. And that was pretty much the main issue in the relationship. And him constantly at my place and me not knowing where his toothbrushes or where his clothes are or where, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where my man sleeps when he's not sleeping at my place where I live. So that was just an issue for me. That caused a great deal of the issue. That was one of the first shady things that I picked up about him. And then eventually he told me that he was going to leave that place. He was going to, he was going to move out. And God, I'm shaking. He told me he was going to move out. And he told me that basically this lady was dying of cancer. And that's why it was complicated. He couldn't just leave because she was sick. And so he had to continue to be there.
Now, y'all know I don't like throwing around that N word. Okay. I see you already throwing it around in the comment section. But I do like to point out narcissistic tendencies, right? We cannot diagnose this man, allegedly, right? But a second number one sign of narcissism, this could be male or female, they always have some elaborate type of story. Like the stories that they come up with, the lies just be out of this world, y'all. I mean, they should be a producer, film director, or something, because the way they come up with these stories, I just be like, dang, who would even think about something like that? But that's how good they are when it comes to lying and stretching the truth. Because that's the thing. They're so good at lying to the point where there's some truth to their lie, but they stretched it. I mean, they stretched it so much to the point where if she was in her right frame of mind, it don't make sense. It just don't. So they are good. They are really good at coming up with the most interesting stories. Elaborate stories, y'all. Creative stories.
I help take care of her. And eventually, he's going to find a way to move out of the place or whatever. Naturally, that never happened. But there was a point where he had promised me, I obviously didn't know at the time that it was one of his many lies, but he had promised me that we were going to get married the next year, we're going to have children. And we went house hunting in Harties, because he always said that he wanted to live outside of Joburg. He never wanted to live in the inner city because he didn't like the noise and stuff. So he always wanted a place far away from Joburg. So we went house hunting in Harties, and then that fell through as well. And it was just weird shit after weird shit after weird shit. Now, here's where the financial issues come in. I feel like I'm flip-floppy right now. I'm so nervous. I don't know what to do with myself. Whew, there's so much to tell in the story. So at some point in our relationship, the first financial issue, at some point in our relationship, Piwe took my car. He took my BMW. He said that he was going to go fix it. So my BMW had a dent. It had a dent on the side, on the left side, and then also the mirror was like leaky. And so he took my car, he took my BMW, so naturally I let him take it. thank you. My man's going to do something nice for me, you know? I have not seen my BMW since. That was in 2017. I have not seen my BMW since. Shortly after that, Pio and I, not shortly after, a couple of months later, I'm going to try and summarize this the best way I can. That's the first issue. I'm still going to get into the BMW issue again. That's the first issue. This was part of the reason why I'm doing this live, what part of the reason why I'm exposing him. And I'm going to explain how now the debt that I'm incurring as a result of the BMW that I haven't seen in 5 years, I'm still paying for it today. I'm still paying for that BMW today. But I have not seen my car in 5 years. So he took my car to Lungis. It turns out he gave it to his cousin. I don't know what his cousin did with it. And it has been a wild goose chase ever since.
Girl, I know I'm not the only one that's like, wait a minute, come again? A lot of y'all are like, huh? What? Oh my gosh, how? She don't have no boundaries, y'all. I mean, none. Black women, we are taught to give, overextend. And when you do that, you can't have boundaries because you can't say no. So it does not surprise me that a Black woman in South Africa is having this experience right now. Because we're a bitch if we say no. We're a bitch if we say, well, I don't trust you with my, you know what I mean? I don't trust you with my car. What are you doing with my car? It's not insured in your name. You know what I mean? We're supposed to hold it down, be a ride or die, and all of this stuff, right? She's being the good girlfriend, right? She's being the reasonable, nice, generous girlfriend, right? This is why I'm a bitch now, y'all. I'm a bitch. And I wish you would try me. I want you to. I really want you to, so I can show you not to ever play with me like that ever again. This is why I'm not nice. And I don't care what nobody got to say about it. I don't care what your mama got to say about it, your grandmama got to say about it. I don't care what your uncle down the street got to say about it. I don't care what homegirl across the street needs to say about it. I'm not nice. And this is why, because I've been in this situation. I got questions. What you doing with my car? Where are you going with my car? Where is my car? Because I would have went to the police. And I would have said, my boyfriend stole my car. Church girls, nice girls, you are preyed on more than any woman among the collective. Stop being so nice. It does not get you anywhere. She's been dealing with this for 5 years. This was 5 years ago. And it's still affecting her life till this day, all because she was nice. Nice. That's all it takes is for you to be nice. Stop being so damn nice. People just want to take from you anyway. He did that because she was so nice. It worked. Being a good girl, it served you when you were in middle school, high school, maybe college. But when you're a grown woman, it don't serve you no more. It does not. Not when somebody can ruin your life 5 years after the relationship ended. She's not even married. This is not even a woman that's divorced. She's not even divorced, you guys. And this is affecting her life 5 years after the fact. That's not fair to her. Stop being so nice, please. Nice people will always finish last.
How he came about getting me the Range Rover. It was New Year's Eve. We went to a party that one of his friends was hosting in Centurion. And on our way back, we got into a fight. And I can't even remember what the fight was about. But things were already tense. Anyway, we got home, we were drunk, we slept on it, woke up in the morning. And mind you, this guy had laced me with alcohol. We had literally he had bought me like booze after booze after booze at this party. So when we got home, I was drunk.
Now she could have said no. She could have said, you know what, I'm good on alcohol. You know, but maybe she's seeing it like this now because you guys, sometimes when you're in the thick of it, sometimes you don't see things clearly. But when you reflect, especially when you have 5 years to reflect on this relationship, she is realizing how he would manipulate her and he used alcohol. And this is why, like, this is 5 years ago. She's still healing from this relationship. I can't tell you how long it takes for you to heal from a relationship. I can't tell you how long it's going to take. Because it takes a lot of reflecting, a lot of forgiving. It takes a lot of introspective type of reflection. Like it takes time because you got to come up from under all of that because it's nothing but confusion. And I always tell girls, especially when I mentor, if a man is bringing two things to your life, confusion, like you don't know where you stand with him, you don't know if he's coming or going, cut him off. Nothing else to think about. He's bringing confusion to your life. You wasn't confused before he came in your life. Why are you confused now? Him, he's the problem. So remove the problem. Get rid of the problem. That's your solution. A man should not be bringing confusion to your life. Number 2, confusion typically is followed by chaos. So if you confused and your life is chaotic, all of a sudden, remove the problem. You'll start to see how magically your life just seems to be on the up and up. When you were going down a huge downhill or a roller coaster, you went from being up here to your life just going straight down, just like that. Remove the problem. The solution is to remove the problem from your life. One person, male or female, can do this to your life. Just one. It only takes one person. Doesn't take 2, 3, 4, 5. Just one person. Just one. The biggest red flag, you confused, cut off. Chaos, cut off. Nothing else to talk about.
So he wakes up. So the what he was used to is that every morning I would wake up and make him breakfast. Every single morning I would wake up, make him breakfast, iron his clothes, put them on the bed, shine his shoes. I was literally this dude's cheerleader, maid, best friend, you name it. I was everything. I was fully committed to this man. So that was what he was used to. Every morning I'd wake up, make him something to eat, breakfast in bed, some coffee, some cereal, whatever. And so this particular morning, and it was after the New Year's Eve party, so I was drunk. So I woke up. So he woke me up. Sorry, he woke up early, and he obviously is hungry. He's like, "Babe, I'm hungry," and I'm like, "I'm still hanging," you know. I'm like, "Babe, there's food in this fridge." So I'd cooked the night before. I had made chicken and a salad. That's another thing. I was monitoring his diet. So he wasn't allowed to eat takeouts because he wanted to lose a certain amount of weight. So I monitored everything that he ate. And I cooked everything, most things. If we didn't go out on a date or whatever. So this particular morning, I was hanging, and I haven't thought about this story in a very long time. I actually haven't spoken about this in a long time. He woke me up and he's like, he wanted something to eat. So I told him I left the chicken and the salad. All he had to do was literally take it out of the fridge. I'd cling wrapped it. I had dished out chicken for him and the salad. All he had to do was literally take it out of the fridge, pop it in the oven, pop it in the microwave, and eat.
The way she's explaining this story about the food, y'all, tells me the type of woman that she is. She's very caring, compassionate, considerate. And he took advantage of that. Because to be honest, what's she doing cooking for him every day? Like, what? They not even married. And this is the thing when it comes to men today. They want you to be their mama. They want you to be a fill-in wife until the real wife comes along. Because let me tell you something. This man is married now. He got a whole wife. Oh, yeah, girl. This story is crazy. Cautionary tale. Cautionary tale. So she was basically the fill-in wife for the actual wife that he has today. So she doing all of this, not reaping any benefits. He's not reciprocating to the relationship at all. It's not that you can't cook for a man. It's not that. It's the fact that you're cooking for a man that is not reciprocating. Because the whole purpose of a relationship is a partnership. Just like a science project. Everyone is doing their part. But when that man ain't doing his part, what's the purpose of the relationship? There isn't one. You're just a maid. You're just a fill-in. That's it. And this is why people push marriage, because at least you have a solid position. He can't just get rid of you so easily. You don't want to be a placeholder. You don't want to be a placeholder. And like I said, I've explained it in so many different ways, right? The whole purpose of a woman cooking in a marriage, the whole purpose of a woman cleaning in a marriage is the fact that she actually benefits from the cleaning, the cooking, and all of that she does. Well, she's supposed to, if you marry and choose right. But when you doing it outside of that, all that cooking and cleaning, where are her benefits? She got a retirement plan. She don't got a retirement plan, and she was cooking and cleaning and all of that. That's why I don't advise it. I don't advise that you move in with a man. I just don't. I don't advise it, because you will easily turn into a cook, a maid, and a sex worker overnight. As soon as he move in, I don't recommend it. And then they get comfortable. That's another thing. Men get comfortable. You already doing all this other stuff. And then you're not, see, they want you to do it because you're not securing your position, sis. It's about your position. He's securing his, and he getting all the benefits. What are you getting from cooking and cleaning every day? Are you getting a pension plan? Because your grandmama, she may have gotten cheated on, but grandmama secured that pension plan, though. She did. She secured the pension plan, the health care benefits. What you securing, sis? It's not about a label. It's not about a piece of paper. It's about you investing in yourself and in your future. And you cannot do that when you don't secure your position. Imagine you doing a job and you don't even have a title. You're not even being recognized. You think she got any type of recognition for all this cooking and cleaning that she was doing? No, she didn't. She can't even look. She's probably looking at this man in his in his marriage, in his new relationship, in his new life, and she probably looking at this man like, I did that. I helped him with that. He wouldn't have this. He wouldn't have that if it wasn't for me cooking, cleaning, and doing everything that I was doing. I'm pretty sure. And you know who's reaping the benefits of all of that? His new wife, well, not his new wife, his wife, because she was just a girlfriend, but she was doing wifey duties. As a woman, it is up to you to secure your position. Otherwise, you just doing all of that stuff just to do it. That is it. And I'm pretty sure she looks at his new relationship with his wife and just is sick to her stomach because she helped him get to where he is today. And she didn't get nothing. Probably didn't even get a thank you.
And I was like, hey, babe, I'm tired. There's chicken and salad in the fridge. You know, like I'm exhausted. I wanted to go back to sleep. And I could sense that he was put off, but he didn't say anything. He's like, oh, it's like, oh, babe, I'm hungry. And I'm like, well, there's food in the fridge that I prepared yesterday before we left. And so, yeah, he warmed up the chicken, he ate. I went back to sleep. And I think I woke up like an hour or two later. Woke up, hey, babe. We're tense. He's upset. Fine. I know why he's upset, because I didn't want to wake up and make him breakfast. Cool. Woke up, I started cleaning, and yeah, I started getting ready for the day. We were going to go to another friend of his party that day because it was New Year's Day. And then as I was cleaning, he's like, "What did I do to deserve this kind of treatment from you?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Basically, I do everything for you." And I'm thinking to myself, everything for me? I wake up every day, I make this man breakfast. I am out here taking his family members out. And on most of those dates, I pay. I, you know, like I was a committed girlfriend. Every aspect of his life, I was basically involved in. Well, almost every aspect of his life. And this nigga didn't even help me with rent, even though he was living in my apartment. This nigga had taken my car, had not seen it for months, saying that he was going to fix it, had not seen it. Um,
Y'all got ninjas in South Africa. You know, I am floored. I am absolutely floored right now. Y'all got ninjas over there? How y'all get ninjas over there? How? I need somebody to explain this to me. How Tyrone get over there, girl? It don't make no sense. Are you serious right now? Yeah. Oh my God. I'm triggered. I am triggered. How did Tyrone get over there? How Pookie and Ray Ray get over there? How? Because you know how the men like to gaslight us with that today over here in the US. I just want to know how Pookie and Ray and all of them got over there in South Africa, sis. This is crazy. And then I'm pretty sure he has the image of being a stand-up guy. He don't look like he's a Pookie or a Ray or a Tyrone, but he is one. That's what shape shifters are. They have many faces.
You know when somebody like gaslights you, like beyond gaslighting, and he's like, "Yeah, but every time we go out, I pay." And I'm thinking to myself, "Nigga, I could pay for my own dinners. Like, thank you, but you know." So anyway, long story short, guys, we had a back and forth argument, and he's like, "I do this," and I'm like, "I do this," and da 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 da. Just one of those toxic arguments that any respectful couple should never have. And eventually, he made the threat. He said something on the long. I want to make sure that I quote him word for word. He said something along the lines of, "You're actually pissing me off now. Usiyangicasula manje, sengizokushaya." And I said to him, "If you lay a hand on me, uzolala ejele namhlanje." And next thing I remember, I blacked out because he had pounced on me from across the room. Next thing I was standing, next thing I was on the floor. Next thing I'm blacking out again. And I'm seeing him like, "What are you doing?" Blacking out again. And the gentleman black out, he's hitting me in the face. Like I'm seeing stars. At some point, I remember he had his knees on my shoulders and he had his hands around my neck. And I said to him, "You're killing me. You're going to kill me." And he said, "And he carried on beating me. We started this argument on one side of the room. By the time he stopped beating me, I was on the floor in the bathroom and he was standing above me. And he said again, what did I do to deserve this? Why are you making me become this person?" And I remember I was just crying, telling him, "Please just stop. Please stop." And so this is how the Range Rover came about. After he had beaten me up for the first time, he felt guilty. That was in January. The Range Rover was not a Valentine's Day gift. The Range Rover was bought in January. In fact, for the first few days after he had beaten me up, I have the pictures. I'm going to post them after this on my stories of my eye and my face that day. After this happened, my mom came and she counseled us. I didn't call the cops because at the time I was in love and I believed him when he said he was sorry. I mean, he was immediately remorseful. And so I forgave him. And so my mom came, she counseled us, he left that day. And here's what's crazy. After he beat me up that day,
Some things that I want to highlight. These things I always talk about, y'all. That older generation does not always give you the best advice. She said her mom came over and counseled. Counseled what? Because if this was my daughter, I'm coming to pack her up. I'm not coming to counsel a man putting his hands on my daughter all because he didn't get breakfast that day. Are you kidding me? Sometimes your mother is not the person you should go to. And that's just me being real. Sometimes that older auntie, that's not the person that you need to go to. It's not. Your grandmother, sometimes they don't always give you the best advice, because instead of her pulling her away from this abusive relationship, her mom counseled it. And it's not, and you guys, it's really not the mother's fault. I have to keep it real with you. It wasn't. Sometimes your mother, sometimes your older auntie or whoever, they can only give you what was given to them. Hard pill to swallow. In order for you to truly break generational curses, generational cycles, you got to do it different. And doing it different means sometimes going against the advice or the counsel that you're given from that older generation of women. And I wish someone would have told me, because this very thing happened to me. This same situation. Instead of me being pulled away from the relationship, I was being pushed further into the relationship in hopes that it would magically get better out of thin air. But that is the conditioning. The older generation of Black women, that's what they went through. That's how they're programmed. They don't know nothing else. All they know is to pull through and stay strong. That's it. They don't know no better. So you can't really put blame on them. It's just, you got to have self-awareness. You got to be aware of how things are culturally and what's not serving or what did not serve that older generation of Black women. So it's just something to think about. But her mom, like I said, her mom could only pour from what was given to her. And it wasn't the best advice. It just was not. I'm sorry.
I still wanted him. I still wanted to sleep next to him. I didn't long for my mom. I didn't long for my friends. I longed for him. I wanted the person who had just beaten me up to comfort me. I know it sounds fucked up. Maybe I am fucked up, but I longed for him. And so it did not even take me that long to forgive him.
You guys, this is very heavy. Now, I want to explain this, because a lot of women judge and they say things like, I don't understand why she just didn't leave. When you are attached to someone, and similar to your parents, a lot of our parents were abusive as well, but we still wanted their love. We still wanted their approval. We did. Similar situation to this, right? Because you love your parents, and sometimes they're toxic, right? I know people today, they should very well block their parents or their mom or their dad, but they refuse to do so because, well, that's my mom or that's my dad. It's not a soul tie. It's not a soul tie. It is because she is actually attached to this man, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. But she's attached to him. And she may even have some codependency issues as well. She may have that. But she is attached. And so when you are attached to a person, it's so much harder to leave, you guys. It's so easy for you to be a third person or a third party looking from the outside in, and you're like, just leave. It's so easy for you to say that because you're not attached. You're detached. You're detached, which is a good thing, because You're not in this situation where you're so attached to this person that even though he just put his hands on you and physically harmed you, you want to go lay right next to him. So it's not easy for women to leave. It's not. It's going to take discipline, strength, mental strength for you to really leave. That's being realistic. Telling a girl to just leave, that's not being realistic at all. It's not. Because in the reason why I don't feel like it's a soul tie is because you can have you can have this level of attachment and not be sexually active. So I don't want to say it's just a soul tie. She may have attachment issues. You don't have to have sex to get attachment issues. You don't. I see girls that are still friends with girls all over attachment. That's it. And they're not having any sexual intercourses. It's just this emotional attachment and they cannot free themselves. So it does not have to just be sexual. It doesn't.
He was back the next day. He brought me flowers and he'd given me the car keys to a G-Wagon that he was driving at that time, a white G-Wagon. He claimed it was his. I know it belonged to his Chinese girlfriend, the elderly woman, who actually owns all of the hotels and the properties that he claimed were his. And he left me the car. He was like, I can drive it around for the next couple of days. And then he left me his card and a bouquet of flowers. And he left. And I felt bad when he left. I still wanted him to come back. In fact, I called him and I was like, you can come back tonight. Shameful, I know, but yeah. Yeah. And then shortly after that, a few days later, he was like, let's go look at some cars. We were back to normal. Within the first 3 days, we were actually back to normal. Didn't take long. I did not hold him accountable for what he'd done at all, which is probably why he carried on doing it later on in the relationship. And I kind of blame myself. I take accountability for the fact that I did embolden him by not making him accountable for what he'd done. To a point where the second time he did it, he didn't even feel bad. In fact, he started to feel like emboldened by it. Like, oh, she does this all the time. She cries. We'll get into that. But anyways, that's what brought about the Range Rover. That's why he got me the Range Rover. The Range Rover was basically a gift because he felt guilty about what he'd done. And in retrospect, now that I think about it, it was probably a gesture to kind of shut me up.
Now, what have I been telling y'all about these relationships that you see on Instagram? You don't know how these girls are getting these gifts. You don't know why they're getting these gifts. I mean, you could put on some makeup and a face filter and some makeup on a bruise, and you don't know how these girls are getting those items. You see why you shouldn't compare? Because you don't know how people are getting these things. You don't know. You're telling me that she got her dream car, but she had to take a beating for it? This is why I say these things. It's very sad. And it's all, he did it out of guilt. He didn't even do it because he wanted to do it for her. He didn't do it from a genuine place. He did it from guilt. So how many girls on Instagram are going through something similar? Because we've seen so many YouTubers come out about their relationship and how it really is behind the scenes. So how many more people do you think are out here that have a similar relationship? We can start with Krishan right now in Blueface. We can start with them too. You don't know how these people are getting the things that they are showing online. You don't know how. So stop comparing. It does not even make sense.
It was probably a means of him to shut me up. And so when he bought the Range Rover, my BMW still had not returned, by the way. It had been a couple of months since he'd taken my BMW Esituyo Yungis. It still had not come back. So he got me this Range Rover. So we went. So how it happened is we went to go look. He told me that he's going to go test drive this new car. He knew that a Range Rover was like one of my favorite cars ever. And in fact, a couple of days before, he had said something along the lines of, "I want to get you a car." And I was like, "No, don't get me a car. Let's work on our plans for next year. We want to get married next year. We want to have children. So instead, let's move out of my little apartment and get a place together." And then, yeah, once we've settled those expenses, we'll think about getting things like nice cars and whatever. He was like, "No, I'll do that and get you a car." He insisted. So when he was like, "Let's go look at these cars. Let me go look at this car. I want to test drive." I was like, "Okay, cool." I kind of had like, a hunch that he was probably going to get me this car, but yeah, I didn't think he would do it that soon. So we test drove the car. I told him I liked it. It was really nice. Next thing, he's like, "It's yours." And I was like, "Oh my God." I'm sure you guys saw all those pictures when I was like, "Oh my God, wow." I was really, really happy. I was truly grateful. It was actually one of the happiest moments of my life because that was my dream car. And I was grateful. I was very, very grateful. And then, yeah, so he told me that I needed to do the paperwork myself because he was putting it in my name. So the arrangement was he was going to pay for the Range Rover for 3 months. At the time, he was doing a deal in Tanzania with a Tanzanian tycoon where he was developing property. I'm sure you guys will also see if you track back my posts. There was a time where I went to Tanzania with him on like a little mini vacation. He was actually developing property there. And then he told me I should come, and then we turned it into a vacation because he knew how much I loved Tanzania and I loved the beaches. Everybody knows that I'm like partially a hippie girl. So he knows I love water, I love beautiful scenery. So he was like, "Come through, we'll turn it into like a vacation." So anyways, he was brokering this deal in Tanzania with this Tanzanian billionaire tycoon or whatever, where he was developing some property. He was developing some hotels alongside some of the islands there. That deal fell through. He didn't even tell me about it. So he told me that he was waiting for a huge payout from this deal. So he was going to pay for the car. He was going to give me money to pay for the car for 3 months. So he was going to lease it for 3 months. And then afterwards, when this money comes in, he's just going to pay off the car in full. And then, yeah, I can keep it, So I agreed. I believed him, like this guy is like no one I'd ever met. I've never met somebody who literally lies on cue. Like this guy can literally make up a lie about anything at any point, about anyone, anyhow, and it will be believable. Anyways, so he assigned the paperwork for the car, got the car. So
Also, you guys, a lot of women judge and say things like, "How could you allow all of this to happen?" She is confused. Do you not understand when you are being manipulated, you are in a confused state of mind? She's still hung up on who this man used to be. And that's the thing. It's like sometimes we women, we rush and we fantasize, right? The reason why she fell in love with who she thought he was, but he's no longer that. And it's clear as day. But her mind is still back where they first met. So she's still at a mind space where she's in love with the man that she met originally, but the reality is in present time, that's not the man that she's with. So a lot of times when it comes to confusion, we tend to only focus on who he was when we fell in love or when we started catching feelings and all of that. But that man is not showing that same person. Like he's not even the same person. So you got to understand how to easily detach when a man starts to show you who he really is. And I'm going to always tell you guys to look at patterns. Because a lot of us get hung up on who we met, but not who this person is being. And that's the issue. Like she could have left a long time ago. She definitely fell in love with being with his representative or his receptionist. But now she's in business with a person that she don't even know. She fell in love with a stranger, you guys. And I think I tell women all the time, like when it comes to relationships like this, I'm not saying it's easier to heal, But I do feel like you can put yourself on a faster track to heal or to cut cords when you realize the person you fell in love with was fake. They were not real. And sometimes you have to keep telling yourself that. See, it's harder to leave when you focus on who you thought you knew. But it's easier to leave when you realize that person was not real. So sometimes you have to tell yourself repeatedly over and over again, it was all a lie. Like it was all, and none of it was real. None of it. It was all a lie.
First month he paid the money into my account, and then MFC would take the money from my account. Second month he, transfer money into my account, and then MFC would debit my account. So that's how it worked. So 3 months was the agreement, and then he would get this big payout from this deal that he was brokering. The deal never happened. So 3 months turned into 4 months, turned into 5 months, 6, 7, 8 months. On the 8th month we broke up, and that's when he stopped paying for the car. Meaning now, when MFC debits me, they're going to debit whatever money is in my account. So this is where the BAP started. So MFC is now debiting imali in my account that I have put aside for my life, for my rent, for my daily expenses, my money now. Ne? And this is what has been happening. Yeah, this is why the situation is like this. This is what I mean when I say this guy's put me in debt. So now I'm not only paying for the Range Rover, I'm also paying for the BMW. So now I'm paying for 2 cars. Crazy part of the story is that there was a point where we actually had an argument about this at some point. And this guy literally told me, what you're afraid of is that, because I kept asking him, I kept badgering him about my BMW. And he was like, but I told you that it's in a safe place and that you're going to get it back. But I'm like, you told me that you're going to fix it. You're going to return it. I haven't seen it since. And he was like, no, you have a car. You have a Range Rover. And I was like, yeah, but this Range Rover, you haven't paid it off. And he literally said to me, I will never forget, this man literally with a straight face said to me, what you're afraid of is you're afraid that at some point I'm going to make away with your BMW and then stop paying for the Range Rover. And then now you'll be liable for 2 debts. Is that what you're afraid of? And in the back of my mind, the first thing that came to mind was yes. But because I didn't want to come across as, like a girlfriend that didn't trust him or was, disloyal, I said, no, babe, I trust you. I know you would never do that to me. He's like, so.
Another manipulative tactic, y'all. Hope you caught it. Another one. See, manipulators, they don't always just lie. They tell you exactly what they're going to do. But then they gaslight you and have you second guess and doubt yourself. This is why it's so important that you are self-assured. You got to know who you are. You got to know the type of woman you are. You got to know who you are. If you don't, it leaves so much room for falseness within yourself and with dealing with people. It don't even have to be a man. If you doubt who you are, you doubt yourself, you will be easily manipulated. That's why I always tell girls that if you're not in a good place, you have low self-esteem, you're desperate, you're pick me, a man me, any of that, you a good girl, a nice girl, you don't need to date. You're like a little bunny in the wild. Somebody is waiting to get their hands on you and do a number, sis. So I'm gonna tell you to go to therapy. Start working on yourself. Cause you need to get some tough skin. And you need to know who you are. And you need to be self-assured. Because no man should ever be able to walk in your life and tell you something about yourself or something new. You got to know who you are. So if you don't know who you are, you don't need to date. You're just going to be taken advantage of. And then this is another thing. We sometimes like to blame men for why these things happen to us. He definitely did a number on her, right? But at the same time, she was not in a position to date. She just wasn't. She needed to spend some time by herself, getting to know herself and becoming self-assured, self-aware. When you are a confident woman, when you're high maintenance, you are intimidating, sis. But it's not a bad thing, because when you are intimidating, men automatically put you on a pedestal, which is a great thing. They're putting you on a pedestal. Women go around talking about, oh, I'm on a pedestal. I'm on a pedestal. You're not. You're not on a pedestal because you're not intimidating enough, sis. People who are intimidated by women, they look up. They don't look down. They look up. So be intimidating. Stop being so nice. It don't get you nowhere. So when men, I used to think it was a bad thing to be intimidating. It's not, because when people see you as intimidating, they got to look up every single time. It don't matter if it's a male or a female. Because you seem out of reach. You seem untouchable. Men know if they approach you, they got to come correct. They can't be playing games with you. People know not to play games with you because you're what? Intimidating. You're too much. And you want to be seen that way. You don't want people to think that they can play you, try you. Just play all up in your face. You become intimidating, untouchable, and out of reach when you know who you are. And you want to know who you are so you can be intimidating. That's why people can't stand me. It ain't because of what I look like. It ain't because of what I have. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I'm not. I know who I am though. So because of that, a lot of people walking around, they don't know who they are. They copy. They mimic. They're too busy comparing themselves to somebody else, being something that they're not, portraying themselves to be something that they're not. But as soon as they see you, you know who you are. You don't need a book to copy, notes to write down, or anything like that. They are intimidated by you, sis. And you want that. So I'm going to always tell you to be yourself. And know who you are. You have to see yourself in the way that other people see you. Because if you don't, they will take advantage.
What's the issue? And yanige, biggest mistake of my life. So that's how the Range Rover came about. I'm gonna do this the best way I can, guys. I'm literally telling you this story in drips and drabs. It's hard to explain because this is like something that spanned over like the course of 5 years. So I'm trying. I'm nervous. I'm gonna try and explain it the best way I can. So let's park the Range Rover story. So now we know what's happened with the BMW. We know what's happened with the Range Rover.
Y'all, this makes me very angry.
Amongst all of this man tells me that I should leave my label, my music label. I was signed to Gallo at the time. He told me that I should leave my music label.
Hold on, wait a minute. Before she get into this other manipulation tactic, you guys, I got to do a video on this. Okay, I got to do a video on this. When it comes to being a feminine woman, you can have what is called duality. People cannot figure me out because I have duality. I can be feminine and intimidating. You can have duality. You need to practice having duality. You got to know who you can be in your light femininity with, who you need to be in your dark femininity with. You can't be the same across the board. And the reason is because if you do, people are going to try to play with you, sis, because then they got you figured out. That's why you need to have duality. You need to have, it's not even how. No, you need to have duality, because if you're readable, you're easily to manipulate. You're easily to trick. Anyone can mold themselves into being whatever you need them to be because they got you all figured out. So practice duality. That's why. You can be feminine, but you can also be intimidating though too. You can be nice, but people also know not to play with you either. Have duality. Stop trying to just be one thing. You can be both. And that's the thing. This society is just so obsessed with putting you in a box. You can't be free. When you have duality, you are free. They don't like that. So a lot of women taught you how to be feminine, but when they taught you how to be feminine and they just taught you how to be that, right? They didn't teach you all this other stuff. They taught you how to get played, toyed with, picked on, belittled, doormat type of stuff. You need to have duality. How do you practice that? First of all, you got to find yourself. A lot of people, they don't get me. Like, they stereotype me things that I'm not. I'm quirky. I'm a quirky Black girl. I'm bubbly. Now, in this society, according to stereotypes, a quirky Black girl, she can't be intimidating. A quirky Black girl, she can't be mean. She can't be a bitch. I could be all of those things because I have duality. Femininity is not a weakness. Not when it's dark. Not when it's dark. I said in a video not too long ago, I said, you work on your shadow side because your shadow side can benefit you. You don't get rid of those things in your shadow side. You keep those things. They're benefits. You just got to know how to use them. You got to know how to you work on your shadow side because you start to see, okay, this is a shadow of mine. I need to work on it, but I don't need to get rid of it. Because if somebody was to try me, I'm going to tap into my shadow side and I'm going to do what I need to do to handle what I need to handle. And then if ain't nobody trying me, then I can step back into my light. You just can't stay in your light. You can't always be so positive. You got to have balance. It's about balance. We jump from one extreme to the next. And when you do that, that's how you get paid. And Black women, we have that bad because we have this savior complex issue really bad. You got to find your balance. So how you work on yourself, it's all about working on your shadow side, working on your light side. When you work on your shadow and your light, you know who you are because you know your flaws, but you also know how you're an asset. So I'm going to tell you to start there. What are you good at? What are some things that you need to work on? I have control issues. So because I have control issues, that's one shadow that I have, right? Because I have control issues, I'm like, okay, dang, I need to work on my control issues. I got it bad. But I don't need to get rid of it because I got to know when I need to take control, I got to know how to use that, which is a shadow of mine, but I got to know when I need to use it though. See, before I knew who I was, I didn't know who I was, right? I would use my control issues at really bad times. Like when it just was not needed. So I still have those control issues, but I tame it. But I also know how to take control when needed. I also know how to assert myself when needed. I just don't have to over assert myself. I balance that out. It is about balance. You don't get rid of your shadow. And that's why you got to face yourself. So many people are afraid to face themselves. Just face yourself, sis. You got to get to know who you are. You got to know what your assets are. And listen, that's the thing. When we speak on assets, right? Technically, it's your shadow and it's your light. They're both assets because you're an asset, sis. You just got to know how to use your flaws, your weaknesses to your advantage. Personally, I'm clumsy. People be like, oh my God, she's so pretty. Girl, I will trip over nothing. I don't know how many bruises I got on my legs, my arms, my elbow. I'm the tall girl that's clumsy. But I make it look cute. People call me goofy. I'll take that. But if I fall on my face, just know I'm goofy. You know what I mean? You don't got to be perfect. You don't. You do not have to be perfect. You just got to be yourself. But you got to know how to use your flaws, your clumsiness to your benefit. Okay? It's not about being perfect. And that's the thing. Femininity is just being taught all wrong. It's just being taught wrong. It just is. Marilyn Monroe, she was, some would say ditzy, but it came across as bubbly to people and they loved her. People still talk about it to this day. It's not about being something that you're not. It's about learning who you are and using it to your gain, for your gain and for your benefit. So Bella Swan, that's another one. That one girl from Edward, Bella, but what's her name? She got the same face in every movie, and I'm just like, why is she always looking like that? But I like her though. I like her. What is Edward? Twilight. Oh, she used to get on my nerves, but no one else could play that part but her. No one else could play Kristen Stewart. No one else could play that part but her. If some other girl was saying Edward, it's not hitting the same, sis. We need the real Bella to step forward, because that ain't it. Be yourself. Learn who you are. Love who you are. And start to use who you are. Good, bad, the uncool, the weird. Use all of that to your advantage. People will love you. They will love you. So that's how you do it.
And he was going to register a label and sign me. So Yanike, love of my life, future husband, I trust anything that he tells me. I left my label, and he registered a label, and at the time it sounded so romantic, like your man literally registered a whole music label just to sign you. You know, it kind of sounds like, whoa, love lives here. Does it?
This is why I talk about the pimp. People think I'm being dramatic when I talk about the pimp on my page, but I'm so serious. There are men out here that will pimp you out. So he basically had her walk away from her label to sign with him so he could pimp her out. Did y'all get that? And you know who else is doing something similar, but they calling themselves to be in a relationship? Krishan and Blueface. All that crazy stuff that she be doing and stuff like that, them always being able to go viral and stuff like that. Who do you think is getting paid more, Blueface or Krishan? So the pimp thing, listen, you don't got to stand on a street corner to be pimped out. You just don't, sis. You don't. All you got to do is have a man in your life that is manipulated. That's it. And he can easily pimp you out. So when I say pimp, that's exactly what I mean. A lot of women get pimped out. I know women that's married getting pimped out right now. Getting pimped out right now. Now, when they first got married, he had a job. 2 years into the marriage, he ain't had a job in 2 years. Or he ain't had a job in 6 months. 2 years into the marriage, he ain't had a job in like 6 months. Right? And now this woman is the breadwinner. And so who do you think all the financial responsibility is falling on? Her shoulders. And who is pimping her out with a marriage contract? Her husband. Now she is slave to the contract she signed, which is a marriage license. It happens all the time, you guys. Pimping 101. You do not have to be on no street corner to be pimped out. You just don't. You just don't. So you got to know all the different men, all the tricksters that are out here. You got to know what they are. Like the lover boy, the F boy, the nice guy, the pimp. You got to know who they are. And at this point, we need to add the swindler as well. I'm going to do a video, though. I'm going to have to do a breakdown. But the pimp, that's a lot. Wendy Williams is another one. Herb and Ashanti, that's another one. I've seen so many women get pimped out, and they were in a relationship. They were married. They were not on a street corner. And you see why, you see why, just because you got a ring on your finger, I wouldn't judge, sis. I just would not. I would not judge. And that's the thing. It's like this society is so obsessed with image. But you one of the same, sis. It's just you're in a marriage, she's on a street corner, but you're both getting pimped out, sis. You see why you shouldn't judge? And then some women, they feel like they can. Kirk and Rashida is another one. I don't think Jay-Z, I wouldn't say Jay-Z and Beyonce. Mary J. Britney Spears. Her whole family pimped her out. Disgusting. So, no, you guys, I'm sorry. Nope.
Registered this label. And then he asked me to get some people to help him. I sourced a guy, a friend of mine. He's since passed away, so I don't want to mention his name. But he was the one who was helping us, like get like licensing, get a licensing label, get my music on Spotify and Apple and things like that, and doing our PR and stuff like that. And then I also sourced, he sourced some producers that he still has. Oh, guys, hey, this man has made a mess of my life. So figure up. So you saw some producers, these young producers, very talented guys. We started recording my previous album, Izipinkomo. And yeah, I was in studio every night. Sometimes I'd even sleep in studio. We worked very hard on it, and we came up with a really good album. I had sourced a photographer at the time and this photographer he shot me for free. But this guy, Upiwe, had already sent the album through to Musica without my permission, without me even agreeing to the cover. And he used the cover that was used for a previous album. So anyways, signed to his label. We did the album. I recall only doing one gig with him, and it was at Soweto Theatre. Piwe got paid for that gig. I never got a cent from it. I think they paid about 30 or 40,000 rands. I never got a cent from that gig. He got paid. The agreement with me signing to his label was that he was going to invest 450,000 rands in my project, in the Sipping Goma album, meaning that this 450,000 rands is going to go towards videos, PR, all the stuff that you need to, put an album out there and make it big. Never shot any videos. Even the photographer was sourced by me, and he shot me for free because he was a friend of mine. Never paid the producers. Till this day, I don't have access to my music. I can't perform my songs via backing track today because I don't have access to the separates. So I can't perform the music for my album except for Zupungom. Zupungom is the only backing track that I actually have access to. And the producers refused to give me access because they were not paid. Therefore, they refused to give me my separates. Right now, my album is not available on any, if you go stream Zipingomo right now, Ozifuman, it's not on Spotify, it's not on Apple Music, it's not on any major streaming platform because there's some paperwork that Piwe did not do with regards to Dynasty. And this Dynasty Entertainment was his label that he registered. This guy literally turned into Quincy Jones during the course of this whole, him working on my music. Today, he tells me that he doesn't know anything about this music thing. Today, une amnesia at my expense, which means I'm losing out on money. Which means when I do gigs, I have to do all my older songs. I can't perform songs from that album today. And I can't make money off of streams, off of anything today from that album. Because I can't paperwork. I don't know how many times I have tried to have this discussion. Some people just don't understand the language of decency.
You guys, this is why I say you got to be confident all around because people can't even try it with you in business. In business. Just because that's your man, sis, that don't mean he get a pass on the contract you sign. Because when I get my prenup written up and everything like that, I let my alleged husband look it over, and then his lawyer revises it or whatever like that, I'm gonna look over it again. And I'm gonna read the fine print. This is your life, y'all. Like this, you only get one life, just one. And it's so precious. It's so precious. Read the fine print. And you cannot be desperate, not in business. You cannot be desperate, not even in business. There are so many women paying for being desperate. If you are truly talented, right? And you are truly in your purpose, you don't have to worry about how you're going to make it. You just don't. And you don't have to be desperate about it. You got to believe in your talents and your abilities. And this is why you got to know who you are. She signed that contract willy-nilly simply because I don't think she really saw her value as an artist, not as a woman, as an artist.
I did not want to even have to do this. Me doing this live is beyond me. I did not want to do this. I did not want this to come to this. This is the last thing I wanted to do. This man knows how much I value my privacy. He knows how much I want to keep my private life away from the public. He knows. And so he was banking on that. He was depending on the fact that Moneoa uthanda privacy yakhe, which is why I'm Gezel. Yeah, now he's on Instagram buying Maybachs, buying his step or daughter-in-law's imoto. I don't know where my car is. Where is my car? The last chance I gave Upiwe, he had begged me, I'm going to find this voice note and I'm going to post it after this. If I can't find it right now, I'm going to post in my story so that you see I'm not lying. Upiwe begged to meet up with me to resolve this issue, to resolve the issue with both cars, to resolve the issue. Oh, wait, Yima, I'm going too far. I'm missing one more story. Hey, how could I miss this one? So, sorry, I need to track back. When Pure stopped paying for the range, the money was being debited from my account. So MFC is taking money out of my account. The money that I had in my account at that time was money for rent. So njengoba ingabhatali i-range, bakhuphe imali ye-rent i-MFC. So eventually I got evicted from my place. After I got evicted, I called his parents and his dad had him come over on the day that I was getting evicted. On the day that I was getting evicted, not after, sorry. On the day I was getting evicted. And my whole family was there helping me, my brother, my mother, my aunt, my friends, my brother, my other brother, my older brother, and my younger brother. They were helping me move. So
she got too many brothers for me to be having these type of problems, y'all. I'm sorry. I am sorry. All I heard was brother. Girl, how many brothers you got? And why are they not doing something about it? Because this is crazy. I don't like involving my brothers in my personal stuff. I don't. And my father always told me to not do that, especially if I plan on going back. But it's clear that this relationship is over with. Girl. Oh my goodness. I had to involve my younger brother one time. And as soon as he got involved, I couldn't go back. I couldn't cross my own brother. And the reason I couldn't cross my own brother was because he came with protection. So when my younger brother stepped in, I really had to wash my hands with that toxic man because I couldn't cross my brother. Now, what type of woman would I be to cross my brother for a toxic man? That don't make no sense, y'all. So to the women out here, you involving a cousin, a brother, or whoever, if you involve them, ain't no going back. Why are you crossing someone that actually has your back? You never do that. This is chess. You got a knight. He's your knight. He's loyal. You don't cross a loyal knight, sis. I'm sorry. You just don't do that. He gonna always have your back too? And you gonna cross him over a toxic man? Oh no. No. Now you done crossed your night and you a queen out here with no protection. That don't make no sense to me, sis. And this is how you have to think. So if you involved in a male figure that's offering protection, you never go back. It is a wrap. I don't care if this man talking about the stars and the sun, the moon. It's a wrap. Because it really comes down to this simple thing. They should have never had to get involved in the first place. So because of that, there is no going back, sis. It's a wrap. Period.
POA came and he offered to take my stuff and put it in storage. And the agreement was he was going to put my stuff in storage until I found a new apartment to live in where I could put all my stuff in, right? And I told him I'm going to move into my aunt's place. I'm going to live with my aunt because my aunt had like this tiny little apartment at the back of her home. And so I told him I'm going to move to my aunt's place until I find myself a place to stay. And he was like, cool, I'll see your aunt, I'm going to pay until you find yourself a new apartment. I was like, cool. So he came, he put my stuff in storage. It was at Store Age here on 14th Avenue. My heart always breaks when I go past there. He put my stuff in storage. This is the majority of my things. So I had a 2-bedroom apartment. It was fully furnished. This is stuff that I had accumulated over the years. So this is my couches, my TV, I had a dining room table. I had a fridge that I had gifted myself on my birthday. It was a 30,000 rand fridge. Guys, it fridge yami ayithetha nam. Ifridge yami yangicelela angekho manzi efridgini. I gifted myself that fridge. And anybody who knows me knows how I feel about kitchen utensils and just because I love to cook.
Y'all, I'm the same way.
If you follow my stories, you'll know. Cooking is my thing. So I had some really dope ass things. I had some expensive ass pots from Le Creuset or Le Creuset, however you pronounce it. I had a lot of things. I had pots. I had, it was a fully furnished apartment. I had, a bed. I had, like the second bedroom actually wasn't even like, there wasn't a bed in the second bedroom. I used it as a closet just because I had so many clothes and shoes and things like that. So everything that you can think of that could fully furnish a 2-bedroom apartment, that's what I had. And that's the majority of the things that he put in storage that day. This man stopped paying for my stuff in storage, and he never told me. He registered his name at the storage. So his name, his phone number, his email, his address.
Y'all, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it.
The storage is sending him messages like, you have to pay or we're going to do this. You have to pay, we're going to do this. They're sending him all of this stuff. Now I have no idea. I took the little things that I took with me. I'm thinking all my things are safe. My dishwasher, my washing machine, my fridge, my TV, yonkinto. Because my aunt's apartment was already fully furnished itself. So I didn't have to take much. I think I took like 1 pot, a few clothes, and just a few things. Because I wasn't planning to stay there for long. I ended up staying for a while, but whatever. This man stopped paying after a month or 2 months. And I can't recall. I'm going to have to check the documents now. He stopped paying after a month or 2 months.
I'm going to jail.
He did not tell me.
I would be in jail, y'all.
By the time that I found out my stuff had been auctioned off, everything that I had was auctioned off. Like everything. My clothes, my shoes, my stuff. Yonkinto. Everything. Think of everything you have in your home. And then all of it is gone. This person was receiving messages from the storage. He was receiving warnings after warnings after warnings. Watula, what to do? Never said anything. At the end of the day, I think I was owing something like 6,000 or 7,000 rand at that storage. I could have paid that. All he had to do was tell me, I'm no longer paying for the storage. Go sort out your storage. Fine, I would have paid it. For what I had, I would have paid it. I lost over 500,000 rands worth of belongings. I lost things that I will never get back. Things that I could never buy. I had this beautiful black book that I'd been like collecting memories in it and pictures. I had a picture of my great-grandmother, my grandmother's grandmother, my great-grandmother, black and white picture from like the 1910s. Just some things that are just so priceless that I will never get back.
Oh my God, y'all.
And
I would have snapped.
And yeah, I lost everything. I pretty much lost everything that day. I called Pure And I told him what had happened, and he was like, no, don't worry, I'll sort it out. Tried to call him again, blocked. Blocked or phoned off or whatever the case was. But okay, I couldn't get a hold of him after that. One of his many disappearing stunts. He does that. When he starts to feel invincible or whatever, he does this thing of just ignoring texts and calls. And for him, I can see why his sister's was whiling today, because I know that he tells them a different story to the things that he does to me. He doesn't tell them the truth. So he'll be like, oh, Moneoa's, like the other day, Utem, I'm extorting him for asking for him to pay for the things that are being debited out of my account today as a result of the debt that he put me in.
You guys, she dated one man and lost everything. Everything. Just like that. I would have snapped. The fact that this girl she nervous, but she's so calm, y'all. This was 5 years ago and she's still dealing with it. You know, my skin, it just boils. Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
I never wanted that Range Rover. What I wanted was a future for us to build together. I never wanted that car. He insisted on it because he knew. Can I tell you guys, I didn't even want to post that Range Rover. I didn't even want to post it. The only reason why I posted in February is because Nguye Owatikumand posted. It was going to help me with my career. It's like, I'm helping you with your album. Yeah, this is going to it's going to spruce up your album. It's going to add hype. So post. And yeah, it did. It did help. I thought it was a very smart move. It made sense. It was logical. But I didn't want to post because he knows my privacy is everything to me. I didn't want to post. I'm not flashy about my life. And I don't have much, and I'm not ashamed of that. I saw his sister today posting that, she lives in Waterfall and my apartment was run down. I have no shame in my rundown apartment. It's my apartment. I earned it. It's run down, but it's mine. I worked for it. I have no shame in that. I have no shame in the little things that I have and the cheap things that I have. I have no shame. I walk at H&M, Mr. Price, with my head held high, babes. I wear my cheap clothes and my cheap ndondons with pride. Because I have no shame in my life. Yeah, I'm not used to Louis Vuitton bags and this and this and that. I'm not ashamed of that. Those are not the things that matter to me. This is specifically why your brother fell in love with me. This is specifically the things that he used to say he loved about me. So for him to do this to me,
sis, he didn't love you,
all
sis.
people, is beyond shocking for me. And the arrogance that this man has about it today, the last conversation I had with him, telling him, I sent him a screen grab of my banking app to say, this is the amount that came out of my account. This is the amount that came out of my account. So when I expect you to pay for certain things, it is because I've been debited here, and here. E25,000 rands, E15,000 rands. EMFC is still debiting me today. The BMW is still debiting me today. I've given back my Range Rover, by the way, and Sanai, I don't have a car, guys. I have a car, but I don't have a car today. This nigga's driving around in Maybachs. And he has my car. And I sound crazy. I'm crazy, Mna. I'm the crazy one for wanting to speak out, for wanting to stand up for myself. This man physically abused me for the entire duration of our relationship. And I think that was the trigger for me today. I actually thought twice about this live. I actually wasn't going to do it. I said I was going to do it, and then I was like, actually not. But when I saw his sister whiling, the disrespect, it's kind of like it adds insult. Injury, what is it? It adds fuel to the fire. It adds I'm so tense. It adds don't to insult to injury. Because I wasn't going to do this. I actually thought twice, because he knows this is not something I want to do. But I can see me being quiet, me being silent and nice about this whole situation and choosing to do this the right way. It's not working. I don't know how many times this nigga and I have had meetings where he's like, okay, yes, I'm going to do A.
I need to say this. Stop to the sisters. Stop getting in between you and your brother's relationship. That's not your place. You not sleeping with your brother. You don't have kids by your brother. You're not in a relationship with your brother. Stop that. I mean, y'all defend him like that's your husband, that's your boyfriend. That ain't your boyfriend, that's not your husband. You stay in your place. I have two brothers. I never get in the middle of their stuff. It's not my place. I don't know what they do in their relationships. I don't know what conversations and things go on when I'm not around. So where does your boldness come from? Like, where does your boldness come from when you're defending someone you not effing, you don't have a baby by, you're not in a relationship with? Where does your confidence come in with that? I need a sister to explain that to me. Stop getting in the middle of your brother's relationships and the women's that he tends to deal with. It's not your place. It's just not. That is crazy. I see that too much. You're overstepping. And if you had a man or if you had some business to attend to, you wouldn't even have time for that. Just being honest. You're not having sex with them. You're not in a relationship with them. It's really just not your place. Go get some business of your own. It's real simple.
I'm going to post it right now. Those meetings. I'm 90. I recorded all of them where he begs me to meet with me, begs me to solve this issue, reassures me. He signed a contract. He signed a contract that I'd drawn up at that meeting that stated he's going to take care of this, and that. And I said to him in that meeting, if you breach anything in this contract, you are giving me the right to go about this as I please. You're giving me the right to go and expose you on Instagram because I'm actually sick of this. What? Okay, cool, no problem. He said, okay, no problem. I'm going to post it. Right after this live, I'm going to post it. Since he wants to act like now he wants to sue me for defamation. It's not defamation, my guy. You gave me the go ahead. You told me that if you ever started, I said to you, if you ever started ignoring my messages or ignoring my calls again, and you do all this crap that you've been doing for the past, I don't know how many years, where you don't want to give me back my car, you don't want to resolve these issues, you don't want to pay me back. There was even 2 years where I had to pay for Uber myself. And then last year, he started to pay for my Uber. So here's how he went about paying back, just in case he starts, because I know he's going to start lying and making it seem like he paid me back more, he paid me back all my money. He didn't. So after we had the meeting, we agreed that he was going to pay me back 20,000 rands a month. So this is what it's based on. He told me at that meeting, and like I said, I have it recorded. So if he even tries to lie, I have it recorded.
You guys, you got to remember this is going on in South Africa, okay? So the laws are different. Now, if there's a South African native in the comment section and you want to give us some legal advice or at least some legal knowledge of, the laws over there, go ahead, sis, drop that information because girl, I don't think she can sue, y'all. I don't think she has any legal rights. I think she went to the police. I think she sought out, some legal advice and things like that. And this is what she was left with. So it's different over there, you guys.
He told me at that meeting that he didn't have money. He didn't have a lot of money to pay me back for all my belongings that I lost in storage. So the things that I'm holding him liable for is my stuff that I lost in storage, which I audited. I think I audited something close to the amount of 500 and something thousand. He told me that he couldn't afford that 500,000. All he had in his account was just a little up above 300,000, and he was going to get more, but all he could afford to pay me back was 20,000 rands a month. All he could afford to pay me back was 150,000 rand at best. And then he said he was going to pay it in installments of 50,000 rands a month. You want 20,000 rands a month. And I agreed. And I admit this was very idiotic on my part, but I agreed. I take accountability for that. I regret it very much because now that I know what I know, it's kind of like shit. But I agreed to 50,000 rand. Mind you, he owes me at least 500,000 rands worth of izinto. But I agreed below 150,000 rands. In fact, a total of 175,000. And he paid that back in 20,000 rands installment. He still owes me 5,000 rands, by the way, because that last 5,000 rands, I was. And then the agreement was he was going to pay for my Uber until such time that he was going to return my car. And that's what he did up until from March last year, up until December, or was it, no, up until, yeah, I think he paid up until December. Yeah, I think he paid up until December. And then in December, at some point, 30,000 Rand was debited from MFC. I sent him the screen grab. I sent him my private banker's number so that he could confirm. Like I said, I'm not going to tell a single lie. I sent him the notification. I said 30,000 Rand, you put me in out of my account. It's MFC. It's to do with the car. You said you're going to handle all matters to do with that debt. And out of that, he only paid me back 18,000 Rand. And we agreed that, okay, 30,000 Rand was debited. Mind, kusakhona ezinye that he owes. Kusakhona ezinye that he owes. Kusakhona 25,000, kusakhona 50,000 that have been debited from my account that he still has not paid. But even this Uber, or even him paying for the Uber, I paid for my own Uber as a result of me not having a car for 2 years. Him paying for this Uber for a year doesn't even cover that 2 years. It doesn't cover that 2 years. So he paid 20,000 Rands installments up until White Batala Low 170,000 minus 5,000. He still owes me 5,000. So I'll give him that. There's still the issue with the BMW. Where's my car? There's still the issue with the Range Rover. Why have you not paid that debt that I'm still being debited for? Izola, I was debited 15,000 Rands from the MFC. So, yeah. And on top of that, I never even held him liable for the mess that he made of my career. He never paid for a single video. This man agreed to putting in 450,000 Rand to my agree. He made me leave my label to sign to his label, promising me that he was going to invest 450,000 Rands in my career. He still has not paid my producers. I cannot perform my music. My music is not, you won't find my last album, Easy Pingom, anyway, except for probably YouTube, and it's just a few songs now. This nigga has made a mess of my life. Music career. Because guys, dealing with the issues. And this is just the cream of the crop. This is like the cherry on top. There's so much more to the story. I'm literally giving you guys like a cherry on top. But that's the gist of it. And that is my objective right now, is to get my car back and for him to get me out of this debt, both with BMW and MFC, because I'm not going to be liable for a car that I have not seen in 5 years. Why am I still paying? Why am I still paying? I'm literally working my ass off trying to get my career back together. And I still have to worry about debts that I did not incur. And this nigga is, you claim to be so rich, then give me my car back. And if you don't have it, if you don't know what your cousin did with it, or if you guys, in fact, his cousin's girlfriend told me something the other day. She said that she suspects that they probably at the time were running low on cash. And because he had planned to be with me, in any case, they just probably thought, okay, we could just use Moneoa's car to, sell it, generate some income, and then use that income to make more money or broker a deal or whatever. Because Nyanige, where is my car? Where is it? I've been on a wild goose chase, excuse after excuse after excuse. It has been 5 years. Where is my car? So yeah, that's the gist of the story, guys. There's more to the story, but like, honestly, like, I hope I've explained it. I hope I've explained it properly. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I am beyond frustrated. Now this guy is saying that he's accusing me of extortion. Extortion. Ew. Blackmail. Like, the situation is beyond me. Like, I was borrowing money last year. Like, I have never had to borrow money. I have always been self-sufficient. I had to move back home. Because, hey, guys, at some point, even when I wanted to move out of home, no landlord or real estate agent would take me because of how bad my credit is, because of all of this debt. This man physically abused me. He manipulated me. He conned me out of 2 cars. He cost me everything that I had worked hard for. Like, there are things, oh, like I look back on my life and I'm just like, I really, really miss the life that I had before I met this man. Sometimes I even wonder, like, in to deserve a man to treat me and then even have the audacity to be so arrogant about it. The arrogance that Upiwe displays when I try to talk to him, when I try to reason with him. Ati, I don't have to do this. We're agreeing to this because, we're both, this is not something that I have to do, basically. I'm not liable. You're not liable for giving me back my car?
Remember, the laws are different.
That I'm still paying for? Like, I have never met anybody like this guy in my entire life. And today, I'm actually grateful that I did this, because I've received so many messages from people who are like, me too, me too, me too. Siamazi, he's done this to me too. He's done this to me too. I am literally shocked and appalled by you would think that he couldn't surprise me any further. I'm shocked. This guy is nowhere near the type of person I thought he was. And I think part of the reason why I kept giving him chance after chance to fix this is because I was still fixated on the person that I thought I was with back then. I honestly thought that this guy had some decency in him. I was so convinced that this man, there's no way that he's going to let this happen. Surely there has to be a decent bone in this man's body. Surely, as a man, he understands the predicament that he has put me in. Surely he understands how he has inconvenienced my life. And surely, if I reason with him, he will make it right. Here I am today, 5 years later. 5 years later. Andina moto. Andina. And to think that I dedicated so much of my life to this person. This guy still goes around. I've actually heard that he still goes around telling people that he bought me a car. He's still using me to make himself look good. He still talks about me. He still tells people that, yeah, Moneoa, I dated her. I bought her a car. What? So that's how that happened. So essentially, I bought myself that Range Rover because I am the one who ended up paying for it. And I'm the one who's still paying for it. So
I wonder how many Instagram models are dealing with that.
How do I do this? Oh, so yeah, that is my story. Well, that is partially my story. It's been really hard, guys. It's been very, very hard.
I feel so bad, y'all.
And sometimes I just feel like, because I'm a strong person. I'm all about my work. I work hard, but it's sometimes it just feels like, because I have like this strong character, this like strong attitude, like independent woman, some people literally like feel like, yeah, okay, it's okay to treat this person this way. It's okay to take advantage. They can take it. They'll be okay. Like, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I haven't been okay for a very long time.
What do you even say to her, honestly?
On Instagram, always, posting happy things, always posting about this and this and that, trying to make a bad situation look good. And yet I'm literally like suffering. I'm literally dying inside. I cannot tell you the stress that this has caused me. I cannot tell you how. Yeah. And somebody said today, Upindile posted something where someone was like, oh, things are tough. That's why things are so tough right now for everybody. That's why Moneoa is doing this, because she wants money from your brother. Sweetie, because she needs money. Yeah, I need money. Who doesn't need money? Name one person in this world who doesn't need money. Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world, and he still needs money. He still wakes up every day and goes and makes money because he needs money. Everybody needs money. Yes, I do need money, but that's not my reason for doing this. That is not my reason for doing this. I am sick and tired. This man is emboldened by my silence. This man has caused me so much emotional and mental trauma, I will be damned if I'm going to let him continue to fuck up my finances. I'll be damned shame. I tried my best. I tried my best to settle this the right way. I tried my best to be nice about it. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to let somebody get away with my car. Asoze ndinike indoda imoto kaloku. Asoze kaloku. Asoze ndimnike imoto yam. So I don't know, maybe I didn't articulate myself well, but that is my story, guys.
Yeah. This is why I say things like you gotta start thinking about how you need to protect yourself. It's going to be harder to hold him legally responsible because that's not her husband. Now, they may have lived and done things like they were husband and wife, but they legally were not. This is why, like, women, when we get into these relationships, like, we don't think about how things could go wrong. You have to think that way. You just do. You do. It's not always pleasant, but it's real though. You just do. So it's going to be extremely hard to hold this man accountable legally, financially, when they were not legally together. It's not like marriage to me, for me, it's business. It's not about this social status that you get or you receive from others. It's really not. It's about my protection. And I wish women, if you're going to get into it with the man, like y'all going to become an item or a thing, you need to learn how to protect yourself. You just do. It's not about nothing else but protection, legal protection. And that also includes a prenup. If a prenup is not being signed, you're not fully protecting yourself, even in marriage. Sign a prenup.
And that's what happened. And that is the story of Pupio Mapanga. And I'm not the only one who did this to. I know that 2 years ago, Ulupi posted him because he had apparently defrauded an entire foundation, a president's foundation. Defrauded them out of Andazi, how many hundreds of thousands of rands. In fact, this guy has been posted over the years so many times. So many times. I remember there was a huge saga on Facebook. There was a huge saga with a friend of mine. I'm not going to say his name, but he's a DJ. Slash, he's into like logistics and things. He's married to quite a popular influencer as well. This was like last year, the year before. And he reached out to me and he was like, dude, this guy just knocked me out of this amount of money. There's so many people that this guy has knocked. Baningi. I remember when Lupi posted him, I was so shocked to see how many people commented saying, yeah, me too, me too.
Grifter alert.
He's a con artist. And his sister even then was in people's DMs going off all the time. When are you going to stop? When are you guys, if you spent the amount of time you spent fighting your brother's battles, if you had spent that kind of time actually encouraging your brother to do better by people, encouraging your brother to be a decent human being, we wouldn't even be in this situation. You are part of the problem because Ninaband, you embolden him because you keep telling him that he's right when he's wrong. And this is why I feel like Upiwe is oblivious to his ndazenzayo. I don't think he understands how much havoc this has caused in my life. This has had a ripple effect. Not being able to pay for this means I can't pay for this, means I can't have this, means I can't live like this. You know what I mean? It has a ripple effect. It has a ripple effect. You are ruining people's lives. And instead of teaching your brother, but no, ayenziwa lento. This is how you treat people. This is how you do things. When you choose to go, uyotuka yo, when this girl said, what abuse? Yo, she literally sent me a DM. I said, yeah, you're not even worth my time. Upindi. I said, yeah, I'm not even worth her time. I said, what abuse? And I'm like, what abuse? What abuse? Yo, I think that was the trigger. I think that's when it was like, you know what? Now they're even like trying to they're trying to act like this nigga didn't beat me. They're trying to act like this nigga. Hey, there was a point where Upio wanted better and then locked me in the back seat of my car. Difunukuye police station. And I begged him.
Oh my God, y'all, I don't like this. I don't like it. I want to turn it off. It's too much. I don't want to watch it no more. This is horrible. How can you do this to a person?
He switched it off.
All right. So. No. Look.
Oh my gosh.
No, look. Get this through. You'll get this through. Just calm down, okay? Look. It happened. Just embrace yourself to how you feel, okay?
Okay.
Just don't be afraid. It's okay. Just go.
Oh my gosh. I'm mute, y'all. I'm so like emotionally y'all. That was too much. That was too much. That was too much. That was too much. Y'all gotta send her some love. You gotta go to her Instagram. Y'all gotta go show her some love. For real. Please lift her up for real. 5 years, y'all. 5 years. 5. Her name on Instagram is Moneoa. You gotta tweet her, send her some love. That is horrible. I'm going to there's another video because it did cut off and then she came back on. Because there is a part 2. But first, was it after this one? First, I think his mom responded first. So I'm gonna play the part where his mom got involved after she went live. So let me go ahead and play that first. And then I'm gonna go back for part 2 because there is a part 2. Afternoon. The interesting part about this story is that his mother decided to go on Facebook and defend him in his honor. And I'm just going to read the part that matters in all of this. She wrote, "This too shall pass, like all others. Chin up, my son. You are your father's son. You've got good genes, and your mother's blood flows in those veins. Formidable combo. Gen Z don't crack. You chose a road to wealth. It is a bumpy one. I know you've got the strength of mind, character, and physique. Show them what your mama gave you. Hashtag Gen Z genes. Hashtag only son of his father. Hashtag the apple of my strongest eye. Hashtag can't keep a good man down. Hashtag Team Ching's boy. After the live, we live. Life goes on. Counting down 8 days to go. We gonna party." Moneoa responded on Instagram and she wrote, "Now, I wasn't going to involve anyone else in this manner because my qualm is with one person here. But you say that I'm doing this as an act of hunger and desperation. Okay, I'm going to find those screen grabs of our conversations in 2020 when I came to you begging you to reason with your son regarding this very issue. And you told me that you tried to talk to him, but he wouldn't listen, and that you were also fed up with him. You told me you weren't even on speaking terms with him. And I quote your words: as much as you can't choose your parents, you also can't choose your children. You also told me to go and open a case against him. And let me say this respectfully, Ma. This did not start with me, and rest assured, it will not end with me. Your son has a problem, and you're fully aware of it because you've told me this yourself. For you to victim shame me now when you know what you know is disappointing. But I get it. He's your son, and you must stand by him. It's okay. Just remember this expense when your day of reckoning comes too. Moneo continued saying, I'm going to find my old phone today and I will recover those conversations. Okay, y'all, we're not done. We got to go back for part 2. Okay, so let me go back. Let me pull up part 2. If y'all didn't think this could get any crazier, it does. It does, because I haven't even listened to the voice recordings that she has of this man, because she posted that too. So let me pull up part 2. That's why I said I told y'all to get your snacks. This is why I told y'all to get your snacks.
Whatever he thinks he won't.
It's okay, son. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I literally promised myself I wouldn't be that girl, Ozokala. I'm not going to be that girl, Ozokala. It is bad, this Ozokala. But I think, like, I haven't spoken about, I think as in years into, I'd forgotten, not forgotten, but like I'd sort of compartmentalized them. I hadn't talked about it. I hadn't thought about it in a while. So I think now talking about it, it's just like, the memories are coming back and it's like, it's a little bit overwhelming. Yeah, I think my issue is that I haven't spoken about this in a very long time. And I'm being triggered right now. I'm being hella triggered. But yeah. And like, I don't want you guys to think like I'm entirely innocent in all of this. Like, you know, there were aspects of our relationship where Nam shame, I won't lie. I can say that Nam, I was, you know, I mean, I never cheated or anything, but like, you know, I was difficult, you know, I was hectic. I am quite a, you know, I'm a fierce woman, but like, I don't think I deserve that. And by the way, I tried to open a case. I tried to open 2 cases. Both of them disappeared. I opened one in Sandton. I tried to go open one in Randburg. And then what was that? Douglasdale police station. Both cases disappeared. I remember the one time.
Who said earlier that this man is probably connected to a politician? Who said that? Because as soon as she said that, that's what it reminded me. Someone in the chat brought up and said that he's probably connected to a politician.
I even went with him. Like the last time that I had like threatened him that I was going to do this, that I was going to go and do a live.
And you guys, the reason why I am highlighting that, everyone just wants a man with money. And you got to understand that when you're dealing with a man with money, that is a totally different ball game. There's so much that you got to look out for. Because I told y'all what happened to me. With my mentor. He sexually assaulted me and got away with it because he had white privilege and he was a lawyer, so he was well connected. So when I spoke out, spoke my truth, right? I always tell y'all to do that. I was silenced. So, I'm always thinking about, based off of my experiences, how it's so easy to come on here and paint you this fantasy. Oh, just date white, or oh, just date a man with money. Date a man that's well connected, right? Date a man that's connected to politicians, right? You got to understand that when you start connecting on that level, and it's not to scare you, because I feel like you should achieve a high level, but you cannot be naive. You just cannot. You got to know who you dealing with. You got to know who you in bed with. You got to know who you going toe to toe with. And you cannot be naive and think, oh, they wouldn't do that. Oh, but they could if given the opportunity. Some of them would. You just don't know that. So I'm not saying don't date out. I'm not saying don't date men that are well off. I'm saying stop being naive. Stop being naive. And I don't know why this is not being brought up. Just because you date white, that don't mean nothing. Because I'm telling you, any day, they could use that white privilege against you legally against you. Because that's what happened to me. And I wasn't even dating the man. He was just my mentor. So they took his word over mine. I'm a Black woman. So they took his word over mine. And the interesting thing about men that are like this, they tend to prey on women that don't have that many resources, especially financially. So a lot of these girls are grooming you and setting you up to be around men with money, but they know that you don't have that many resources. You're not connected the same way that they are. You're not in these social groups that have status and wealth and all of that. So they can easily prey on you. Easily. And it's so easily. And I wasn't even trying to date. I was just trying to get mentorship to ensure that my business was being registered correctly, my taxes were being done correctly, and I was simply taken advantage of and then silenced. So you gotta be careful, you guys. Like, you cannot be naive. You gotta be smart.
He didn't give me back my car. I was like, okay, I want to go to the police station so that we can get a what you call it? It is Lando in that thingy, that statement Hba umtu where he acknowledges that he took the car and blah 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 blah. I was supposed to, what is it called? An affidavit. And I went with him and his cousin, and the police officer told me that because I gave him the car, technically I'm in that case. And she said this in front of him. Nah, he was witness. He was there. The police officer said that I don't have a case because I'm the one who gave him the car. And I was like, but I didn't give it to him to have it, for him to have it. I gave him the car because so anyway, yeah. So yeah, that is my story. I don't really want to get into like the abuse. I don't want to like get into it further. Honestly speaking, I it's just gonna make me very emotional, and I'm really trying to be level-headed right now because I feel like the battle is azobande. Um, but um, but that's what happened. That's what this man did. So I am gonna go have a drink now because Ndiako. And I hope I made sense. So that's my story. I hope it makes sense. And hopefully, remember, my objective for doing this is because I really don't know what else to do. I've tried the law. I've tried to talk to this person. You can't obviously reason with the devil. I have tried for 5 years to deal with this in the most peaceful manner that I could have. I have tried for 5 years to be peaceful about it. And for 5 years, this guy has literally taken me on a wild goose chase. So at this point, I know that there's no reasoning with him. I know that even if he says, okay, Masi Lungi said, I know after a couple of months, it's a nonsense. So I'm hoping that somebody out there who's watching this, and does Banya and does Njani could please like reach out like and just help me with the means to get my car back and to get and just to get compensation for the debt that I've had to pay, and the debt that I'm still paying for. So I don't, and that's hopefully somebody out there is watching. I don't know. So yeah, that was my reasons for doing this. So I hope I made sense. And yeah, thanks for listening. Bye, guys.
Okay, we're going to move over to the voice recordings. Let me pull that up because she did post them. And I think it's something we should listen to because it validates her story, her side of things. But again, there's always three sides.
And then that was that.
Yes.
It could be a lot of things.
Like what?
You know, maybe
Like what?
I focused on other things. I just left this to Tom to take care of.
No. You don't do that, Pee-wee. And you know, the reason why I'm referring to this message is because I have a feeling that this is going to repeat. This is going to happen again.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, because it always does. How do I...
Which is why you must bring all these mechanisms on the table when you sit down to make sure that it doesn't.
What? How do I make sure? What? Do I hold a gun to your head?
The pen, the signing, the recording, all of those things.
Yes, but that's not going to stop you from ignoring my calls.
Say that again?
That's not going to stop you from ignoring my calls. It never stopped you before. You commit. So I don't know what to tell you. Honestly, I don't even know why I keep doing this. And that's why I keep hoping that someday you will actually listen to what I have to say and just resolve this once and for all so that Nami can have peace with the situation and let it go. Ngiyeke, nawe ungiyeke. Yabo. Siqhube phambili ngey'mpilo zethu in peace. I can't let it go. I can't let it go. That is my car. I can't.
And I don't want you to.
I can't let it go. I'm sorry. I can't.
You should never have to.
Yeah. Imoto yami leya. Like, I worked for it.
Maybe that way.
Yeah. So, ngiyayidinga.
Yeah.
I don't...
And as we're going to anticipate in the Bayayo, immediately,
I just don't trust you, Pee-wee. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Right?
It's just one more time.
I don't trust you. I don't trust you. In fact, initially they blacklisted me, and that I would not be able to get a car again. And I just didn't look. It was hard to let go because it was my only source of transport, and then it's my car attached to it. But I had to let it go.
Do you have the context for whoever is in charge? Can you forward that to me tonight as well?
I will.
Along with BMW.
I will. So you're going to settle the issue with the Range Rover?
And then revert back to you on the status. Because right now we don't know what's.
I will. I'm finding it hard to believe that you're going to honor this.
I will.
In the case of you not honoring it,
But first things first, you can go to
whatever I feel like is necessary.
correct, and then
And you won't fight me.
in ways I will not.
You will not come after me with lawyers.
No, I will not.
You will not come after me with lawyers.
I will not.
You will not open a case against me for defamation of character.
No.
You guys, This is why I decided to share her story on my platform, because I wanted her story to get out for real. Because first of all, I didn't know about the whole politician thing. So that means she's in some deep, you know what I mean? So I really want you guys to share her story, because I think she's putting her life at risk by taking this to social media. I do. One thing politicians cannot stand is their image being negatively impacted. And she single-handedly did that. So please share her story. I think if you bring more light to it, it kind of protects her in some type of way. Like, I don't know, I'm just getting that. So share her story. I know this video is long, but I just wanted to make sure that we got everything in this video. His page is private, so I can't see anything. She never tagged his mom. She never posted his mom's name from Facebook. And then she never posted his sister. So I wasn't able to see their accounts. And I did go to his page, but his page is private. So please share her story. I think it would offer her some type of protection. And y'all know I'm really big on that. So if you want to help her story get out, please share, give the video a thumbs up. And yeah, like this is crazy. Please also remember that if you're ever in a situation where you're confused and all of a sudden your life is just so chaotic, the solution and to help you bring clarity, you need to detach. You need to detach. And one thing that I have learned when it comes to like relationships with men, it's okay to detach and not speak to them for a while, so that you can have your own thoughts back, so you can think for yourself, so you can clear your head. You know, it's okay to kind of have some distance between you two, so that you can have some type of clarity. Sometimes we don't, when we're in a relationship, we don't give ourselves time and space away from our partner so that we can think clearly, so that we can do what's truly best for us. Because if you feel like being in this relationship is not going in a way that you feel benefits you, you feel like you're constantly getting the shorter end of the stick, maybe distance is necessary. Maybe it's necessary. So I'm gonna tell you to do that. And then if you've ever been in a relationship like this, the person that you fell in love with does not exist. And that is a hard pill to swallow. I had to swallow that pill. The person that I loved did not exist. He was a character. He was a character, and he was not who I thought he was. So it's not easy swallowing that pill, but that pill has to be swallowed. That Band-Aid has to be ripped off, sis. He's not the man that you knew or that you thought you knew. He was playing a role. He was playing a character. And the sooner you come to that realization, the better, because it will have you think more clearly, and it will have you see this man for who he really is, and not not for what he's not. So yeah, I don't even know what else to say at this point. But yeah, my next topic that I want to talk about, I want to talk about the chase. I posted this to my community tab, and a lot of people didn't get it. A lot of people didn't get it. I tweeted, I said, people really chase fake illusions. This is a similar situation. She was chasing something, marriage, kids, a life with this man that did not exist, thinking it will make them happy. Relationships, fame, cars, handbags, etc. They are forever chasing the type of happiness that doesn't exist. It's only in the movies. And I said, and cut, the scene is over, right? Real life takes so much more work. So I'm going to be doing a video on this because people think that I'm trying to stop them from having a quality life. No, I'm trying to get you to understand that you don't have to be a slave to the chase to a point where you are not happy. Because this girl was a slave to this fairy tale. She was a slave to the chase of this marriage and kids. And look what it did to her real life. People wanted to make it about bags and shoes. I'm not saying you can't live a life of leisure, luxury, quality. I'm not saying you shouldn't go out and eat organic. I'm not saying that. I'm saying don't be a slave to those things. Don't be a slave to a relationship. And you know what else I'm going to throw in here? Do not be a slave to an education. I see so many people that went and got their bachelor's degree, then they went and got their master's degree, then they went and got their PhD, and you know they still in school. They are a slave to being successful. Being successful. Like, I've seen it, and I know where it comes from. I know where it comes from. A lot of people think that it's just about materialism. It's not. We are a slave to a lot of things. A lot of things, because we chase them thinking that we need these things in order to be seen or in a certain way. Right? And we keep chasing it. We keep chasing this thing, and it does not exist. It does not. So it could be money. Like I said, it could be fame. It's all an illusion. And listen, remember when I said I have duality? Yeah, I can sit up here and do celebrity gossip topics. Yeah, I could be a part of the Matrix with you guys and be sucked into what Carisha and P. Diddy are doing. Yeah, I can be in the Matrix, but I'm not a slave to it though. I know what's real. I know it's not. I know what is real, but I know what is not. This is entertainment. A lot of the stuff that you guys see, it's just entertainment. I don't take it serious. So when I say I have duality, yeah, I can play into the Matrix. I can play into all of these illusions and stuff like that. Like the American dream, they sold us that. The white picket fence, they sold us that. They said a bachelor's degree would get us that 6-figure job. I can play into the illusions, but I'm not a slave to them though. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. Because I don't think people are getting it. But you got to come. This is an esoteric conversation, and you got to come with a certain level of maturity. You do. Because I need you to think outside of the Matrix here for a sec. Everything that they got you chasing that supposedly is supposed to make your life so happy and so magical, right? Why does it always cost? Why is none of this stuff free? An education costs, a marriage costs, shoes, back, everything costs that is supposed to make you fulfill this fantasy and this dream. Why is that? Ask yourself that question. Why is it? Why is it that the dream, why is it that nothing within that dream, not one thing is free? Not one thing. Why is that? Why is it that in order for you to truly have this dream, to fulfill this dream, it all costs? And in some cases, it puts you in debt. It puts you in financial burden. So you telling me that in order for me to have this dream, I got to go into debt? None of it's free. Nothing is just, something I can have and enjoy, and it don't cost, like the little samples that they be handing you when you go to certain stores like Sam's Club, Costco. So y'all just nothing? Because I like them Costco samples and they be good too. But in the Matrix though, they really try to feed you. They program you too. They do it with shows, TV shows, movies, music. They even do it within education. That's what's so dirty to me about it. Because education is important. It is very important. But it's like, okay, but why does it also negatively impact me on such a high level financially? Why? But they never push self-education, though. You know, self-education, that's free for the most part. I mean, you go to the library, you can go order some books. It's cheaper to self-educate. Why isn't that an option? You got to start understanding that when they feed you these fake illusions, it's just to make you a consumer. Even the celebrity gossip. Another thing that I want to add, and then I'm going to end this because I'm going to do a whole video. Another thing I want to add, it's getting worse. Social media, why is it that you could be talking about buying something? You can be talking about doing something, right? Doesn't matter which one, it costs money, right? Then you open up your app. That thing just pops right on up telling you, buy me. I'm on sale. Free shipping. And then you like, no, I don't need that. You know, I have a financial goal I'm trying to reach. And then you go to another app, that same item is right there in your face, sis. And you like, dang, how is it that I went from Instagram, Facebook, Amazon, because I had to get me groceries, and this ad keeps popping up. And I was just talking about this to a girlfriend the other day. Oh my God. A lot of people don't understand, like, all of this stuff. It all connects. So when I say so many people chase these fake illusions, that is exactly what I mean. And it's getting worse. Social media is not going anywhere. It's not. They make way too much money off of social media. Way too much. I mean, we can talk about the advertisement. We could talk about the just the advertisement that influencers have. I will never forget. I stopped doing hair videos because I started realizing I was really in the matrix. I started realizing that Beauty Forever was the same company when it came to like Ali Pearl. And I'm like, so you telling me I am promoting the same hair with a different name? So not only are we listen. Not only are we a slave to the chase, we are also a slave to the hype. Everything's being recycled nowadays. Everything is being repackaged. You could go to Fashion Nova right now and see an item that's $40, $50. There is a local, yes, this is Monopoly. That's why I tell y'all to play the game. There's a local store here in Houston. I forget the name, but I went to it because somebody was telling me, oh, they have Fashion Nova clothes in there. I'm like, okay, but it's way cheaper. So I go in there. I kid you not, y'all. I go in there. This 2-piece set that I bought from Fashion Nova, and I probably spent $50. Tell me why the exact same piece was in this store. It just had a different tag with a different name. I said, oh, really? So when I say you are a trend mall, that's what it's called. Thank you, TT. Trend Mall. That is what it's called here in Houston. If you did not know, you got to go to Trend Mall. They got Fashion Nova stuff in there. They're getting the same clothes from the same manufacturer. So it's a horrible game. Let me tell you something else. Let me tell you. Oh, we about to take it a step further because I got time. Because the pandemic really revealed a lot to me. So y'all know, like, some of these higher up brand, like what is it called? Like, not Yummy extensions, but not Wig Dealer. I feel like Wig Dealer is good. I think is it called Snob Hair? These little like higher up boutiques that claim, oh, we have raw version hair. Why I've been trying to find a luxury wig. Why is it that every time I go to these websites that are supposed to be raw version hair, right? Why is it that they all sold out? All of them. Now, I took it a step further. I'm like, why? All of them are sold out? All of them? All of them are sold out. Is it because China is having a hard time shipping hair? Vendors are having a hard time producing hair, sis, because their factories, their manufacturers are closed right now. But they over here selling it to me in the US like it's this raw virgin hair. And then they want me to spend $600-700 for it. But it's coming from China. When I say you are a slave to the chase, you are a slave to the hype, that is what I mean. I'm not saying you cannot have nice things. I'm not saying you should invest in yourself and enjoy, the best side of life and have a quality life. But don't be a slave to it, sis, because that's exactly what they want you to be. You ever notice how wealthy people, they're not a slave to no hype. They not a slave to these things that are supposed to make them happy. They not. They too busy calling into the bank like, I just looked at my investment account and my books are off by 5 cents. Man, y'all better wake up. 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 Y'all making this about, oh, Yoni don't want me to have a soft life. Yoni don't want me to live a life of luxury. Did I say that? I said, why is it that you feel like you have to chase? It's just an illusion. It's so fake. It is so fake. I'm going to give you a movie to watch. Because one thing about this Matrix, they love to sell you the truth on a silver platter. But you know what they like to label it? A movie. Nonfiction. I think it's called The Da Vinci Code on HBO. Yeah, go watch that movie. Go watch it. Go watch it. So yeah, I may wear weave and I love to do some makeup. I love to wear a nice pair of lashes. But I just fit in here. But I'm not of this place. And I think a lot of people don't know the difference. I know how to play the game because it's Monopoly. It's chess. It's spades. But I'm not a fool though. And I'm not a slave to the chase. And sometimes it takes you waking up because I was asleep. I used to think everything that I saw was real. I used to think everything that I saw was this or that. And it just wasn't. It was all fake and it was all an illusion. And I was chasing it. So, I'm on a private, not a private, I'm on a public platform. So, I can't tell you too much, they'll shut me down or worse, run me off the internet. You know how they are. But y'all, don't be a slave. The chase, it's fake. It's fake. It is fake. That is it. It is so fake. And I hate that there are so many people shackled to this chase. But a lot of people are starting to wake up. This is the age of Aquarius that we see going on. That's why you see so many politicians and these leaders. All of them are getting exposed, and it's because the truth is coming out. It's coming out. And and that's another thing. I can't even get the message out to you. Because they messing with my Wi-Fi. On that note, y'all, I'm gonna end this. I may have to pre-record this video just so we won't have any interruptions. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's night. Thank you so much for tuning in. And like I said, I'm going to do a video about being a slave to the chase. The chase, y'all, it's a chase. It's you feeling like you need this. You need the perfect closet. You need the perfect car. You need the perfect house. You need the perfect man. You need the perfect kids. You need the perfect family. You need the perfect education, or you need to get to a certain level in education. But all of it costs you though. It's not free. It's not. So, and then once you get it, then you got to go get something else. And you got to go get something else. You got to go buy something else. You are never content, and they don't want you to be. But wealthy people be wearing New Balances. They be driving Caprice. they be so content with life. I just be like, damn, it's because they're not a slave to the chase. Y'all have a nice night, y'all. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a live. Y'all have a nice night. Thank you so much for tuning in. Give the video. It is a lot of stress. Ivy, give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next one.